Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 36 of my Billions and Billions challenge. In today's episode, I am going to set up a farm which will grow and harvest the trees that I created in the last episode of my challenge, and then I'm going to build an ethanol refinery to create ethanol from the things that I'm going to get from that farm. So let's get started. The first thing that we need is the farming station here, and the farming station actually needs an axe. I already have the farming station equipped with an axe and a capacitor, and I'll show you that here in just a second. I'm going to put the farming station right here, and right now it's locked to not do anything. It does have this axe of the wyvern in it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have to replace this or not. But normally what you would do is equip this farming station with an axe, and it would use the durability as it cuts down the trees. However, the axe of the wyvern doesn't have durability, it has charge instead, and I may need to set up a mechanism to recharge this axe at some point, and I might actually get two axes, that way I can have one charging and one being used in the farming station at a time, but we'll see if I actually need to do that. So the saplings that I'm going to be using are these blue maho saplings that will grow apples as well. So they have a sapiness of high, they mature the fastest that they possibly can, they have a gigantic height, their girth is 3x3, their yield is the higher attribute, and the amount of saplings each leaf has a chance to give off is high, and then it also grows the fruit apple, yeah. I don't know why I'm hesitating on that. But anyways, so let's go ahead and set up these black hole units here. These are going to be where the outputs from the farming station will go. And there will be three different outputs. One will be the saplings themselves. Another will be the apples. And then the first one will be the wood. I won't be using the wood for the ethanol refinery, but the apples and the saplings will be used. So what I've already set up is a system to use this item conduit right here to pull the outputs out, which will go into these slots into these black hole units, and I'm going to throw on some storage buses. So let's go ahead and do that real fast. So what we can do is we can set these to hold what they are already holding with a priority of 1000, and that's because I already have added a few of the things into each one of them. So let's go ahead and set up this final one. Now, one more thing that I am going to do, in which, for whatever reason, I forgot to grab some speed upgrades, but I have some up here. And I need these speed upgrades so that I can pull items out of the farming station as quickly as possible, because I do need the throughput. The farming station, each time it cuts down an individual tree, it will give a lot of items out. So let's go ahead and throw these extract speed upgrades in here. And let's cover this up. Actually, you know what? Let's not cover this up just yet. Let's get to planting some trees. Now, I have actually scanned this stack of saplings with the analyzer, but they are the same as these two stacks of saplings, as well as the saplings in this black hole unit here. So let's start growing some trees, and let's put one over in this corner. And these should grow awfully fast. If they don't grow super fast, I might go ahead and grab some bone meal out of my ME system over there, but I anticipate that they will start growing quickly, and all three of them already. So let's see here. Yeah, we've pulled out a lot of stuff already, and I should mention that the farming station is hooked up to my capacitor over here, and that is the same capacitor that's in this building over here. And I've done that with just some energy conduit under here, and these storage buses are hooked up with this ME conduit to the ME system over there. So that's pretty fantastic. So as you can see, this is actually having a hard time keeping up, and my axe of the wyvern needs recharged. So what I'm going to do is I actually need to go back to my main base and get something to actually be able to charge this axe of the wyvern. And I'm also going to get another axe of the wyvern, just because it will be nice to have multiples. So I'm going to do all that, and once I have that stuff, I will be right back. So what I have for the charging is the energetic infuser from thermal expansion. I am going to upgrade that as far as I can. And the energetic infuser will actually be able to pull more power than I can actually give it at this point. But I think I'm going to hope that that's going to be okay. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and place this. And actually, there's not a super great place to place this. Let's go ahead and place it something like right in this block space right here. And what we're going to do here is let's go ahead and tell it to input from the back, which should be over here, and then output to the right, which should be over here. So let's go ahead and do that. This will be set up to be extract on the brown channel. And so what I need to do over here is I need to insert on the brown channel over here. And I also need to have a filter, because one thing I did do with these guys is, and actually I don't have filters over here. And that's because I kind of anticipate that I won't actually run out of any of these items. So yeah, I need to put a filter right here, and and actually I need to lay down the item conduit first of all. So let's go ahead and get this. This needs to be insert on green with a filter, and what we're gonna do is let's blacklist the saplings, the wood, and the apples. And so that should get to charging, but let's go ahead and ramp this thing up, because right now it's only able to charge at 50 RF per tick, which is not going to be nearly fast enough. To be honest, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to charge these things fast enough. Actually, that's not too bad. That is not too bad at all. I think that'll be fine, actually. So that's cool. So this should be able to output, and this should go back into here. And it looks like it did. So that's fantastic. That looks like it works. And I want to go ahead and put this in here, and I can't do that just yet. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to... No! I'm going to throw this over here. Okay, I'm going to put this in my ME system. Because I actually want to use this axe a little bit. That way I can throw it in the charger. That way I can have both of these in circulation. So let's go ahead and throw that in there. And I don't think it'll be able to go into here just yet, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unlock these slots and start throwing in these saplings, so that it will start actually planting these things itself. And hopefully we'll start getting some trees, and then the system will be able to replenish itself. So yeah, it looks like everything will be alright here. So this should start growing saplings. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to cover up this hole, and then I will meet you back in that building over there. So now I'm in the third story of my building here, and what I'm going to do first is we need to set up some squeezers to squeeze the apples into fruit juice. So let me show you the entire process that I'm going to be using here. So to get ethanol, you need biomass, and let's see here. I'm going to be using the fractioning stills to get the biomass into ethanol form. And to get biomass, you need a fermenter, and for the fermenter, you need 3 different things. You need fruit juice, and you can use a whole bunch of different juices here, as seen by the 1,000 different pages of recipes. But I'm going to be using fruit juice, mulch, and my saplings from my farm over there. And the mulch, saplings, and fruit juice will all come from that farm over there. So the first step here is actually, and I didn't go back to the first step here. My bad. So the fermenter, to get the apple juice, or the fruit juice rather, let's actually just type in fruit juice. And to get the fruit juice, what we're going to be doing is squeezing apples, and I'm not actually sure how. Okay, here's the recipe. So got a 20% chance to get mulch and 200 millibuckets of fruit juice. I will be getting a lot of apples, so and I probably already have a lot of apples in my system. So what we're going to do is, along this back row here, I am going to be ripping this out to lay some conduit. So let's make sure that this is in 1x1 mode, and then I can get to tearing this up. I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. And then right here is my capacitor. So this is where I'm going to be pulling energy from. So I probably have conduit already right there. And then... okay, so let's lay down the conduit. And yeah, I have conduit right here. Let's set this to be extract only, because I don't need to insert any energy into that whatsoever. So let's get rid of this. And let's lay down the rest of the conduit here. I don't actually do that. So this is where I'm going to get my ME hookup from. I have run this all the way to my ME system downstairs. So that is going to be pretty useful, I believe. So let's go ahead and actually run that ME conduit to where it needs to go. I think I'm going to run it to right here. So let's, whoops, didn't mean to fall. My frame rate is really tanking from the tree farm. So let's go ahead and set this up right here. And then right here, I'm going to need to lay down the covered cable. That way I can put an export bus on this. So we are going to be exporting apples to right here. So I have apples right here. There they are. And then let's go ahead and speed this up with some acceleration cards. And they're going to be outputting into this diamond chest here. So at any point now, we should see some apples start to flow there. So that's fantastic. Let's throw down the squeezers right now. So the squeezers are just going to go right along this back wall, right over the energy conduit. That way they have power. And now I need to set up my item conduit. And I should have grabbed my item conduit or my conduit probe. And actually, I probably will go back and do that at some point here in the near future. But right now, let's go ahead and just see a little bit of this in operation. So I'm going to have this be extract always on. Let's throw in some speed upgrades. And let's go ahead and tell these to be insert. And they will also be extract on the brown channel as well. So we should see apples come into here. And these will start making fruit juice and mulch as well. So over here, I think, is where I'm going to put the mulch container. Actually, I need a black hole unit. That's why I have a black hole unit here. So we're going to throw this down. We're going to put this item conduit on. This will be insert on brown. And we do need to filter this up. Let's grab some mulch from this guy. And actually, already extracted, so it's already over here. So we're going to tell this to be only whitelist mulch, which that should be the only thing able to be coming over here anyways. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my main base to grab my conduit probe and maybe some other stuff as well. And once I have that stuff, I will be right back. So I have my conduit probe now, which is going to make things a little bit easier. But now I actually need somewhere to store the fruit juice. And for that, I have black hole tanks here. So let's go ahead and slap one of these black hole tanks down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use ender fluid conduit here to move the liquid from the squeezers into the black hole tank over there. So let's go ahead and lay down these fluid conduits here. And then I need to have this to be insert on the green channel. That will be fine. And let's go ahead and get our conduit probe once more, because I need to configure the fluid conduit here to be extract always on. And let's go ahead and once again copy these settings and then paste them across. And there we go. So we should start seeing some fruit juice in here, and we are. Let's see if these are actually empty or emptying, and it looks like they are, so that's cool. So the next thing we need to do with the fruit juice and the mulch and some apples, and actually let's go ahead and set up an apple container over here. Or not an apple container, but a sapling container rather. So let's go ahead and punch a hole in the floor here. Let's run this ME conduit over. And let's set up an export bus on top of that. And this will be into a diamond chest, and this will be the saplings. And where's my acceleration cards? There they are. So let's throw the saplings in there. We won't need them anymore. And now we can start to set up the fermenters, which use all three of the things. They will use the fruit juice, the mulch, and the saplings to create biomass. So let's... Okay, my frame rate's really bad from that tree farm. So that's one bad thing about setting up a tree farm, is the frame rate is just terrible at times. And part of that is some of those items on the ground, I would guess. Let's forge on regardless. So the fermenters here, let's go ahead and just place all of these down here. And that's cool. So let's go ahead and get some... I don't think they have any solid outputs. So we just need to get... We actually do need the item conduit here because we need to get items in. Let's go ahead and set that up. So we need these saplings here. So let's go ahead and tell this to be extract always on green. These will be insert on green. And And actually I might need to change that because I need this mulch. So let's actually have it be on blue. So these need to be on blue. I'm getting really, really bad frame rate from that tree farm. So there we go. So that's on blue. And now let's just go ahead and place the rest of the item conduit if we can real fast. And actually, I might need to grab just a little bit more from downstairs. And I should have some over here. I don't. So actually, I need to go back and grab some, and I can actually do that real fast. Okay, so here's a bunch of item conduit. Let's grab that. Let's get rid of some stuff we don't need. Let's go back to the ocean island. Let's fly up to this top floor, and then we can complete this little circuit here. And we can just lay this right here and here, I think. So that's always on. And that mulch should be flowing out. It is. So I don't think I'm going to have any speed upgrades in this just yet, any of these extract speed upgrades. I might need to change that in the future, but for right now I'm not going to worry about it. I'm also not going to do any speed upgrades over here. So right now I just need the fruit juice is the last thing that I need to be inserted. So let's go ahead and start running that conduit, the fluid conduit. And because of my saplings, because of them being well bred and they have a high sappiness trait, I will get quite a bit of, and actually I already have fluid conduit there. I will get quite a bit of biomass from each sapling. So let's go ahead and knock that out. Okay, so that's cool. So let's have this be extract on blue as well. And let's go ahead and add some extract speed upgrades into this tank here. So we should start seeing these fermenters get the biomass that they need. Maybe, maybe not. That's because I didn't check that. Okay, so that should work maybe. I have to change the colors is what I have to do. So let's come over here. The fluid conduit also needs to be insert on green. So yeah, that's cool. And then let's do extract on purple. And we don't need anything on the item extract side, so that's cool. I think I'm ready to use my conduit probe here to extend all these settings across. So let's do that. Let's copy that, and then let's paste. So the cool thing about the conduit probe is if you have multiple conduits, it will copy all of the conduit settings. So as you can see, I'm changing all of these arrows from green to blue, blue, and purple. And it looks like all of the machines are getting the things that they need, except for the mulch, because I am actually probably just about out of mulch. But I should be making some biomass. And yeah, I already have a bunch of biomass over here. So we are going to be sending this biomass to a tank. And let's just go ahead and put this tank right here. And we can use fluid conduit to get everything over here. So these are set to extract on purple. So this needs to be insert on purple. And okay, so it has fruit juice in it. That wasn't supposed to happen. Let's reset this tank. And how you do that is you just put it in the crafting grid and it should empty it. So let's try this again. Am I not allowed to take out of the top? Oh, it's because I have it as never active. That should be better. So I'm going to have to copy all those conduit settings again, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Did I actually do it? Yes. So I'm actually going to double click just on each one just to make sure that it's actually going to paste the settings. Because I did have them set up almost the same as what I just did. But I do need to make sure that this is always active. Okay, so we have this tank here. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to cut a hole in the floor here because I need access to it from the bottom because that's where I'm going to set up my fractioning stills. So I'm actually considering turning that thing off right now. You know what, that's what I'm going to do because I want my frame rate to be above 0, and right now it's really, really bad. So I'm just going to turn this off and hope that my frame rate recovers a little bit. So one thing I am going to do real quick is I am going to try to pick up some of the items on the ground because that's kind of tanking my frame rate. And once I have the frame rate maybe recovered a little bit, I will be right back. So I think I have things momentarily solved, and that is because I actually shut down the tree farm and picked up all the saplings and then restarted Minecraft. My frame rate is fine at this point, so that's good. So the next step in the ethanol producing procedure here is we are going to use fractioning stills, and I will need to run a line from my fruit jute or my biomass up here down to my fractioning stills here. So what we're going to do is we're going to place down the fractioning stills, and actually I need to place these ones back here, kind of facing backwards. And am I too close? Is that why? Okay, yes. And so what we're going to do is I actually need to configure these to be input from the back, which would be the middle lane here, and then output to the top. And actually, you know what? I don't even have to do that. I can do input and output on the same face, because I can actually have the interfluid conduits set up to different configurations. So I can insert on, say, the purple channel and then output on the black channel or whatever. So that shouldn't actually be a problem. And the cool thing about the interfluid conduit is, that I didn't mention before, is that it can actually hold multiple different types of fluids in the same line. So that's how that kind of operates. It's very, very useful in a situation like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to grab a red print here, and let's go ahead and configure this. And actually, I forget how to configure this. Okay, cool. So it looks like I configured the settings correctly. I need to place it in my offhand as I place down the rest of these fractioning stills. So let's see here. That is correct. Now I need to be super, super cautious. I knew that happened. Placing these down, and I can go ahead and place these down off camera, I guess, because it's just kind of the same process over and over again here. And once I have all of these fractioning stills placed down, I will be right back. So now I have all the fractioning stills placed down. I do need to upgrade them, so let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do with each of the fractioning stills is I'm going to upgrade it with the resonant conversion kit, and then throw in 4 of these auxiliary reception coils just to speed them up a little bit. And I'm going to do that for all of the machines I have placed down, and that's going to take a little while, so I will do that off camera, and after I have that done, I will be right back. So I have all of the fractioning stills configured, so let's go ahead and start to hook them up. So what we're going to use are interfluid conduits once again, and I do need to drop this down. So let's go ahead and set this to be extract on the, let's just do green channel, because we're not connected to anything up above. And let's go ahead and add some speed upgrades into this as well. And we'll run this down from right here, I think is the best place. And what we're going to do here is we are going to set these to be insert on the green channel and then extract on the brown channel. These will be always on. And let's actually go ahead and run this over right here as well, and then drop it down from here. So what I need to do is I actually need to, I will need to copy all of these settings across to all of these fluid conduits here. And let's see if this first one is actually working. It should be. So we do have some ethanol, so that's fantastic. And the last thing I need to do is I actually need to set up a tank for ethanol for right now. I'm just going to store it. At some point in the future I will be using it, but for right now I think I'm just going to store it. So let's go ahead and store it. I'm going to store it in kind of a weird spot, and that's going to be over here. And the reason I'm going to store it right here is in the future I'm going to have a fluid storage bus on this, and for that I need to actually run it off of this ME conduit I have right here. So it'll be really simple to just put down some ME covered conduit right here, and then put my storage bus on it, my fluid storage bus on it. So then my ME system will have access to the ethanol here. But what we're going to do here is, obviously, we're going to tell this to be insert on the brown channel, and I probably already have biomass in there. Yep, kind of knew that. And then no extraction whatsoever. And I think I have the branch channel set up to be the ethanol here, so yes I do. So let's go ahead and grab this and reconfigure it, or get rid of the biomass anyways. Put it back down, and we should see the ethanol start to flow into here, and we do, so that's fantastic. So the last step of this process is actually going to be copying these settings to all of these other fractioning stills here, and that shouldn't take but just a couple of, or 15 or so seconds, I don't know, maybe a little bit longer. But I think that's a pretty good wrapping up point for today's episode. So in today's episode, I actually set up a tree farm out here. Right now it's not operational because it completely hammers my frame rate, and that makes for a super stuttery experience on your end, as well as a less playable experience on my end. But I will fire that back up before I leave the game again, that way I can run this system. And this system right here should produce quite a bit of ethanol. So basically I threw down squeezers to make fruit juice and mulch. And then I have fermenters, which use the saplings. They use the fruit juice and the mulch to make biomass. And then these fractioning stills down here make the biomass into ethanol. And that ratio is actually 10:3. So for each biomass, for each 10 millibuckets of biomass, I actually only get 3 millibuckets of ethanol. But that's fine. I'm already getting quite a bit of ethanol, as you can see right here. And even the short amount of time that I ran my tree farm, I did get quite a bit of the ingredients I needed for it to make lots of biomass here. And we're currently running a deficit because I think my fermenters no longer have the saplings. But like I said, I'm going to fire that back up pretty shortly. But if you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. And if you like automation type stuff in modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.